You'll fail if you do this. And it doesn't really matter what you're trying to succeed in or what you're trying to grow in. If you are doing this, if you have this mentality, this mindset, and a lot of people aren't even aware that they have it or aren't even aware that it's a problem, but if you do it, if you have this attitude towards things, you will absolutely fail. So I'm going to be going over what it is coming up next and how you can fix it. Here we go. Hi guys, welcome to HeartSpace. My name is Dave, and if you're new here, we create videos every single day to help you live life in your way. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell notification bell. I don't know why I said bell twice. I do that a lot, don't I? So you don't miss any of the videos that we release. Please still actually hit it. It will actually legitimately make sure you don't miss any of the info we give you. Anyway, in this video, I want to go over something that it's so simple, but you see it in so many different people. You see this crippling mindset, attitude that so many people have. And this isn't just people who are not trying to improve their lives. This is something a lot of people in the early days of their own self-improvement and growth fall into. And in fact, even people who are further along fall into this sometimes, and it always holds them back. And so I want to go over what this mindset is and really how you can shift it, how you can watch out for it, how you can transmute it into something that's actually going to serve you and be helpful. So before we start, I want you to put in the comments the affirmation, I am always learning and always open to new ideas that will serve me. Again, we do that so you rewire your brain so you can actually take a little bit of action towards what we're going to talk about in this video instead of just passively watching it. So put that down in the comments. So the reason I'm making this video is because one of my mentors mentioned it in a community call recently, and I remember it. I'm like, wow, that is so simple but so powerful and so true. And he was saying that this mentality and this attitude, and he's worked with thousands of people and at a high level too. You know, this is a guy who works with multimillionaires, helps create them, works with people who are out there shifting the consciousness in the world. You know, this is one of the most incredible people I've ever come across, and I'm in the fortunate position to be able to learn very directly from him. And he said this in the call I was watching for the group that I'm in, and it was that there is a certain phrase, a certain belief that is the battle cry of failure. And it's this: I already know that. That's quite a powerful statement. The battle cry of failure is I already know that. But how many times have you been talking to someone, or you've seen yourself even maybe do this, and someone starts speaking, you watch a video, whatever it is, and you just go, oh, I already know that. You know what? I don't need to watch the rest of this. I don't need to go deep into this topic or this thing I'm trying to learn. I already know that. I'm good to go. I already intellectually know everything about this. I'm good to go. How many times have you found someone who you've seen never changes, like they say this, and you're looking at that person like, you probably should pay attention. Like, maybe you already know some stuff about this, but you know, why is your life exactly the same? Why is it you aren't progressing? You may have noticed it in yourself. I used to do this all the time when I first got into self-development. I had a huge ego around it and used to think like, oh, well, I'm in self-development, you know, I'm going to be great and blah, 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 blah. And I actually started developing a little bit of a superiority complex, thinking I was a little bit better than people because I was doing self-development. But that's all ego. And I would say things like, yeah, I already know that. Or, you know, like, there's nothing this person can teach me anymore. I already watched the video of him saying it once or doing it once or blah, blah, blah. I already know that. But nothing is going to hold you back more in your self-development journey than developing the mindset of I already know that. Because what this claims is that you have nothing more to learn. That's what that means. It means I have nothing more to learn. And so someone may be talking about a particular subject and you go, yeah, I already know that. You are basically closing yourself off to any new information, to any repetition towards that topic. And again, from my mentor, you know, repetition is what's going to help you learn something. Every single book that I found valuable, I read over and over and over and over and over again. I'm reading a book called Conversations with God, the third book, for like the 5th time in like the last year. Now, why is that? Because I could just read it once and go like, oh, I've read it. I already know what's in that. Because every single time I return to that book, every repetition of reading that book deeply, coming in with a new perspective, enriches my life, helps solidify the ideas I find so valuable that are in that book. Because I know I can't come to it once or even twice or maybe even 3 times and go like, I know everything. I could come back to that book thousands of times and every single time leave with something that I didn't have before. And that is the issue with people who only want to learn things at a shallow level. You know, they look at something and go, I already know that. and then they don't progress, they don't learn, or they only get really slow progress. You know, one of the things that makes me realize this, especially coming from the self-development community, is someone named Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor is, I think, 87 or something like that now, still going strong, still like helping millions of people around the world, already is helping people just achieve their dreams, you know, create their dream businesses, you know, change their realities to things that they actually want. And he's read the same book, Think and Grow Rich, for the last 50 odd years, 40 to 50 years. He's read that book every single day. But if he already knows that stuff, why is he reading that book every single day? Because there's always more he can get for it. There's always more he can learn. There's always a deeper place, a deeper understanding that he can gain. And so what he did is he identified a book that is so incredibly powerful and went, I'm going to read this book every single day because I know the more I read it, the more I will commit these ideas into memory, the more I'll be able to speak this, you know, material and experience it, you know, without having to look up certain things, the more and better I can teach people on the concepts because I've gone so deep with it. I haven't just read it once and gone like, I already know that and moved on to the next shiny object. And that's how it is with most things, guys. You know, most people fall into this mentality of, I already know that. You know, and I still do sometimes. I have to catch myself. You know, I'm going through this 6-month mentorship from this guy I keep mentioning, Peter Sage. And sometimes some of the things come up and I go like, yeah, I've already learned that. I've heard about that, blah, blah, blah. And then I have to remind myself, listen to what he's saying. Absorb even more of this information because every time you hear it, you can take something away. You can commit it even more to your memory. You commit it more to, I don't want to say muscle memory, but you commit it more into your nervous system. You allow yourself to experience it from a new perspective each time. And so what I implore you to do and I encourage you to do is if you ever catch yourself saying, I already know that, take a pause and ask yourself, is that really how I want to approach life? That I only need to experience something a few times. I only need to read or be exposed to information a couple times before understanding it because it's not the case. You can always go deeper. And when you find something you know and you feel is valuable, information, experience, people, whatever it is, circumstances, like you can go out and, you know, do certain things. Like imagine going to the gym and doing, you know, a deadlift or doing a bench press and then going like, I know how to do that. You know, and then never doing it again. You know, like just going like, yeah, I already know how it works. I got to do this and that. And, you know, there's this component. I want to engage these muscles when I'm doing it. I want to have good form. Great. I don't need to do it anymore. I don't need to learn any more about it. I don't need to, you know, work on my form anymore. I don't need to try and get better at it. I already know that. Right, guys? Just recognize that when you're coming from that mentality, it's very much an egoic place. And it's the battle cry of failure. I already know that. And again, this is just a call to recognize that within yourself and be honest and allow the ego to fall away and understand that you can always understand something more deeply. There's a reason on this channel and my other ones, I sometimes repeat topics. You know, I sometimes will talk about the same thing over and over again because I know the ones that are willing to grow and are truly committed to be growth-centric people. They will listen, and every single time they listen to that thing being repeated, emphasized of its importance, the more they are absorbing that and actually going to be more likely to apply it and then reap the rewards from whatever the idea or experience is. So just keep that in mind. I just thought this would be an important thing to convey to you that I just realized again from that call. And again, this is coming from someone who is operating at an incredibly high level, you know, living a life that most people would love to live. And we are all capable of doing that. But if we come from mentalities like I already know that, then you're just not going to be living the life you want to live. You're not going to learn the things you want to learn. You're not going to develop the skills you want to develop. You're not going to be able to go deep into things. And you will live in a shallow way, you know, always surface level until you can get beyond that. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got something from it. I hope, again, for those of you who made it to the end, thank you. That means you did take this to a little deeper level instead of coming on for 30 seconds going like, oh, I already know what he's going to talk about, and then leaving, which I guarantee at least someone did. So thank you so much for staying till the end. As always, I love you, and I will see you in the next video.